What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Pepe's price has made the move that we were hoping for, and I want to tell you what comes next. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into it. Now, guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade a little Pepe yourself on up to 50x leverage and many other cryptos on up to 500x leverage, although I highly recommend you not using 500x leverage, you can check out that BTCC link down below. Guys, when you do sign up, they're going to give you a 10% bonus back on your first time deposit between $500 and $100,000. This means if you deposit $6,000, they're going to give you $600 back on the spot, guaranteed, no strings attached, for you to start trading with. And if you trade that up and say turn it into $2,000, all that profit you make, that's all for you. It's literally an opportunity to make free gains, which is absolutely ridiculous. I do a ton of trading over on BTCC every day. Probably about 30 or 40% of my trading goes on over here. So go check that out down below and let me know what you think. Now, looking at Pepe, okay, let me give you a little bit of context. So over the last week or so, we have been tracking the fact that Pepe's price has been putting in, it's been cooling down a little bit, right? We saw the beautiful pump to the upside, slowed down a little bit. We did see a correction of roughly 30%, which is normal, especially for a meme coin. The intra bull market correction is 20, 30, 40%. It's normal. And of course, we have been seeing it go a bit sideways. Now, what we have been tracking is the progress of this move. And we've been trying to determine whether or not we believe that this thing is going to hold support and continue, or if it's going to maybe continue back towards the downward side. Are we going to, see some sort of possible A, B, C correction to the downside here? And so because of that, what I've been telling you on a daily basis is exactly what to look out for us to be able to start getting a determination whether or not we think we're going to push upwards. Now, I think there's a good chance that we do, personally speaking, but there are a couple obstacles in the way. We just cleared one obstacle yesterday, which is what we're going to talk about today, and then we have one more obstacle in front of us. So let's zoom into the 4-hour charts and let's get an idea of what has been happening and, of course, what we need to see next. And if at any given point, guys, that this video gets complex, complicated, or anything like that, I do want you to remember, and I will be talking about this later in the video, don't worry, but I do have a Discord down below. In the Discord is a beginner's course. It's a 30-minute guide that goes over technical analysis for beginners, but I will talk about that later in the video, so stay tuned for that if you do get confused at any given point, okay? So looking at this, all right, let's get into it. So in yesterday's video, in the last few videos, I really told you all that, look, I want to see Pepe's price break this 21173 level. It needs to clear this key point of resistance. While we're below this resistance, we are still at major risk of getting forced back into this red zone to the bottom side. I said the reason being is because when a crypto is capable of breaking a descending structure of this nature, what you have to understand is that these previous points of resistance are going to be very difficult to clear. And if Pepe's price is not able to clear just the first one, right? We broke resistance and we look back the first one up. If we can't clear this and we can't start setting in these little macro higher highs, well, midterm higher highs, right? If we can't do that, what can we do? I mean, even though sure we broke out, if we got rejected, say down here, we're still in a downtrend. We're still putting in lower highs and lower lows, and that could force our price down faster than you could even imagine. And so because of that, I was like, we want to clear this 21173 level before I get even remotely optimistic about what we're going to see next. But I told you all, if we do see that happen, well, doors are going to start opening and things could start looking very, very, very good for Pepe. And look, now here we go. So what we can see here is that Pepe's price did, of course, go for that breakout, but it did get rejected, forced to the downside, recovered upwards, and then officially cleared that 21173 level. Now, what's beautiful about it is that now that Pepe has made this move, you can actually start to see that it put in something of a cup and handle pattern. It's not a perfect one. If it was a bit better, what we would have seen was it maybe happen a little bit lower. But if we go ahead and now that we've cleared this key point of resistance, if we move this up a little bit higher, what you can see here is that Pepe now broke this cup line right here around the 21379 level. Now, the coolest part about cup and handle patterns is they have a very high strike rate. And what that means is that they have a very high percentage chance of hitting their breakout target. Now, the breakout target for Pepe as a result of this cup handle is, of course, that you take the distance from the cup line down to the bottom of the cup and apply that to the top of the cup. And in a moment like this, that gives us a breakout target up here of about 24635, which is actually very, very, very important. And you're going to understand why in a second. So the reason why, I mean, obviously it's a good thing that we have a breakout target of, up to that 248 level roughly. Yeah, sure. It's cool because it means that Pepe's price might go up, but it's even deeper than that. It's even more important than that. And the reason that I say that is because if we can make that move, it completely breaks us past this 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone. Remember, no crypto can go up. No crypto can go far. No crypto can do anything fun until it clears this red box. This red box is is the Fibonacci 618 to 786 zone. This is the hardest part or hardest zone of resistance that any crypto ever sees. And until you clear it, the likelihood is that you're going to get rejected back to the downside. So you have to break this for the party to really begin. And what's beautiful about it is that Pepe now has this structure with the breakout target pointing us in the direction of getting above this zone. And so the next goal for Pepe right now is for its price to get above this zone. I think that if we continue upwards, we might get a little sideways, maybe we might get some little rejections, but we're in a very good spot right now. Even if we do come up here and get rejected, now that we have now made this move and we've broken that, we've changed the trend, it does feel to me as if the tide is changing and that this door to the upside is opening. But this is the final obstacle for me. This is the next thing that I need to see from Pepe before I can get confident saying that we're in a spot in which we can actually see its price start pushing upwards. If Pepe does, of course, break through that 786 level, if we clear this 2.4 level right here, yeah, we're in a fantastic spot. This Fibonacci zone ranges between 226 and 240. So if we can break this, yeah, I think Pepe's price could even be pushing a little bit higher towards that 3245 level, way up here, giving us a nice send to the upside based on the Fibonacci's. But it needs to clear this zone. So what I'm personally doing right now, I'm doing this, okay? And do what you want, do what you may. Totally up to you. You don't have to follow me. But what I personally am doing is I did a tiny little purchase on Pepe just because, you know what? Hey, whatever. Cup and handle pattern. We broke above it. Just buy a little bit. It's not even 1% of the total size of my Pepe bag, but I just bought it for fun. I get a little dopamine hit out of it, okay? But I bought a tiny little bit there. If it was bigger, if it was more important, I would put a stop loss below that 21379 level, somewhere around here, maybe even around that 207. Yeah, about 2075 or somewhere right here. And I am just going to see if Pepe's price is capable of coming back up and clearing this zone. Once we clear this zone, then I'll start looking open. Then it's more open season. Then we're in a spot where we can really start making those bigger trades towards the upside. But you have to understand, you can't just force trades. You just can't rush trades. Sometimes you just have to sit back and watch. Sometimes you have to just sit back and wait. And in this situation where we have a massive point of resistance directly above us, that is the best option in my opinion. So that's what I'm doing. So I did a tiny little purchase. If it was a bigger purchase, I'd put a stop loss under it, and I'm just going to sit back and watch. If Pepe's price gets rejected, remember, I don't even remotely care. There's so much support down here. We're in a good spot. I do expect it would be able to come back up and be able to use that support to come back here. It does feel to me like we're somewhat invalidating the idea of that ABC correction to the downside. So I don't really see that happening unless the entire market starts to cool off. And so because of that, I'm in a great spot with Pepe. If it pulls back, great. I'll buy a little bit or dollar cost average in toward some of these lower support levels. But if it does start to break, then we're in a fantastic spot where I think we can finally run to the upside. So right now, I'm not saying it's going to go up. I'm not saying it's going to go down. I'm not saying anything. I'm only telling you what you need to watch. And what you need to watch is whether or not we clear this resistance zone or not, because it will open up all the doors that you're looking for. If you want Pepe's price to go up, what easily could be another 40 to 50% towards the upside. Now, as I mentioned before, guys, if any of this was confusing, over in my Discord, I did release a beginner's guide to technical analysis, which was a 30-minute long video. It also came with a guide, which is like an 18-page PDF, and a bunch of cheat sheets that I've even used throughout my course of doing technical analysis. Now, in order to get access to the Discord, guys, it isn't a part of the Patreon. It's only $5 a month. When you pay $5 a month, you're going to get this beginner's guide. I have 4 more coming out on leverage trading, technical analysis, meme coin investing, and altcoin investing. On top of that, you're going to get my daily thoughts and insights. Sometimes I even let them know what I'm doing in my own portfolio, but that's not every single day. I post technical analysis on a daily basis, fundamental analysis on a daily basis. And I also do have another tier coming out on Monday, which is going to include having pro traders, workshops, bigger courses, guides, daily lessons, and much more. So stay tuned for that. But right now, again, if you are kind of newer, check out that $5 a month tier. It will get you access to this guide and all of these daily technical analysis posts for you to really start being able to get a little bit more educated on the technical analysis side and trading in general. And don't forget, for those of you who are more advanced, if you do want to do some trading over on BTCC, you can leverage trade Pepe on up to 50x and some other cryptos on up to 500x. But do remember, leverage trading makes everything 10,000 times more risky. So make sure that you are very set before you do that. So overall, guys, please watch this very carefully for Pepe, because it will be the deciding factor of what the future does look like, at least over the next few weeks. So as this continues to play out, I'll continue to post these videos daily, every day, guys. We post 6 or 7 videos here every single day. I'm on vacation. Well, I'm on a trip right now. I'm on a little trip right now, but I'm still getting up early, grinding, getting these videos out for you guys. So make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new, and I will see you all in probably about 2 hours for another couple videos. Peace out, everybody.